Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bob Seeley, and I am a boogie woogie piano player. Boogie woogie is a piano style that's based on the blues, but it's usually a little faster, a little more dynamic than the blues. And the main characteristic, it has a left hand, very rhythmic, and that's the engine that pushes this music along. Here, I'll give you an example. Boogie woogie was African American derived music, and it was played in the bars, the honky tonks, in house rent parties where people charged admission and they'd pay their rent. And it was dance music. People danced to this music, and it had to have a tempo that they could dance to, and it had to be loud and cut through the noise. Boogie woogie was being developed in the 1920s, and it was starting to be recorded. And a lot of the young fellows, Meade Lux Lewis, Albert Ammons, Pete Johnson among them, were listening to the different players coming through town, and they were trying to pick up ideas and developing their own style. But here's one of the tunes that was played back then that they were listening to, and this was probably on a piano roll, and it was called The Fives by Herschel Thomas. The young fellows, Ammons, Johnson, and Lewis, were playing wherever they could, although in the 30s it was Depression days. It was very hard to make any kind of a living at music, let alone boogie woogie. However, in 1938, there was a jazz festival, concert actually, at Carnegie Hall, one of the first jazz concerts ever put on. It featured Benny Goodman, it featured Count Basie, many others, but it featured Ammons, Johnson, and Lewis playing three-piano boogie woogie at the same time. And the impact of this new music to the audience, they felt it so much that they stole the show, and boogie woogie became a craze throughout America for 10 years. Boogie woogie was the thing for 10 years, like rock and roll would be today. It was boogie woogie. And here is an example of how they played it. Boogie Woogie, after its 10-year very famous period in the United States, morphed into rock and roll. But the significant difference between rock and roll and Boogie Woogie is the beat, where rock and roll goes, if you listen to the drummers, they go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Boogie Woogie would go da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like this. Now here's kind of an imitation of Jerry Lee Lewis. Boogie Woogie! The steam train in America was the way that Americans traveled from city to city. These trains were huge. They made lots of noise. They would go 100 miles an hour. But the piano players, the Boogie Woogie players, heard that. And this sound was all over America. Everybody heard it. And they inaugurated that into their music. Now here is a steam train Boogie Woogie sound. You can hear the thing going on the rails. Okay, now, where's Boogie Woogie today and where's it heading for? Boogie Woogie is over in Europe. Actually, there's many, many players, young and old, playing Boogie Woogie in Europe, and they're making a living at it. Fantastic living, and they have great audiences. Over in America, we're not hearing Boogie Woogie being exposed that much, but the audiences that hear it love it. So there's a vast audience here also. And why do I play it? Why does anyone play it? It's in your bones. You feel it. It's you just have to do it. And over in Europe and also in the U.S., they're writing new Boogie Woogie tunes. I wrote one, and it's called Seeley's Boogie. Thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and by all means, keep boogieing.